So shifting over, Beth, can you talk a little bit about how Worcester Family Partnerships is promoting high quality experiences for children? What's working about engaging with families? Where have you encountered any barriers?
Sure. Um, Worcester Family Partnership and the network of CFCEs throughout the state. I know I do have colleagues out in the audience, so shout out to all of you. We work to support families explicitly and directly, and that is part of our mission. Um, and in the early childhood field, we all know the importance of the earliest years in promoting brain development and social emotional skill development. And much of that occurs in the context of families, and all of it occurs best when it's supported by families. So the work that we all do is better if it's supported by what's going on in the families. So CFCEs work to support families. And we're open to all families, which is a great benefit. We don't have any qualifying eligibility requirements. Anyone who lives in Worcester or works in Worcester is eligible to participate. So no one is excluded. And there's no stigma to be part of Worcester Family Partnership because everyone can be. So we work really hard to meet families where they are and to provide a variety of services for varied family interests. We provide play groups. In Worcester, we do that in a variety of locations, including some homeless shelters. And we do that on evenings and sometimes on weekends. And we still have it on Zoom because there are parents who don't have transportation or who might be afraid to leave the house. So that is an option that we have maintained by parent request, actually. So we also provide home visits through the Parent Child Plus national model, both to individual families and to family child care providers to provide support and coaching on how to work with young children. We provide parent education, both as standalone workshops, but also embedded in everything we do. At a playgroup, you're going to learn coaching about how to handle situations or on a home visit. Or you might observe other children and see that those crazy things that your 2-year-old are doing really look like most other 2-year-olds. But you might not see that when you're home alone with them. We also do offer the Ages and Stages Child Development Screening, and again, that's free and anyone can take it. It's a checklist you can do on your computer, so parents have the information they want. We also provide information and referral and work with all of our community partners and maintain connections to all of our community partners. And all of this is based on the Strengthening Families Protective Factors model, which is to decrease child abuse and provide parents the supports they need so that they're not at risk. We try and create a village where families can care for each other rather than just our being service providers. I think parents a lot of times come looking for activities for their kids or maybe just to get out of the house, but once they get there to see us, they find a community and they can get answers to questions they have. And all of us need help at some point in our parenting journey. So it's really important that it's not, you have to call and say you need help, but it's there as part of other things you're doing. The barriers I see are that, funding is always a challenge. We're a state-funded program that hasn't increased in many years. And also the work we do is building relationships. That's hard to value and measure, particularly in bureaucracies that we're all embedded in. So.
Thanks, Beth.
Can you describe what motivated you to get involved in early childhood systems change?
So I started my career as a middle school math teacher, which is very different than early education. And math is a tricky subject, and so I would have students come after school for tutoring. And slowly, I started getting lots and lots of students coming, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna raise all these future mathematicians, this is great. But then I realized they were really coming because I was offering snacks. And slowly, my students started to open up to me about the fact that they actually didn't have food security in their lives. So I started bringing microwave dinners, and it was a good time, but they really started to appreciate that addition to their lives. So that was my first eye-opening experience into what I might want to start doing eventually with trying to get people the resources that they need. Then I had my kids, and I stopped teaching for a bit so that I could be home with my boys, and I started bringing them to Worcester Family Partnership as a parent. And I loved everything that was offered, and I also noticed that, there could have been a lot more people attending these events, and I really started to feel very motivated to try to get people to start coming. And my now boss, Beth, who you'll hear from later, was kind enough to let me join the team and start trying in any way I could to get information to other parents about what is around in the city for them, whether it be about food security. So I, to do that, started working with the Mayor's Food Task for Food Insecurity. And also I've now developed programming for clothing swaps, and just working a lot on social media to connect with other parents to try to get them the resources they need.